Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviritam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimad-Atatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Janaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, your gospel is like nectar and bliss showered upon the pain-stricken lives of suffering humanity. It dispels all the sins and misdeeds of life. It brings spiritual welfare in life. The spiritual beauty and prosperity and grace spreads through and through one who listens to your holy message. They are the real givers in the world who preach and pronounce the nectar of your message to the suffering humanity. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and the topic is Master. The Master is himself and his experiences. It is the entry of Friday, August 28, and the year will be 1885. So, Sri Ramakrishna is in his room, so it is in the early morning. So it was dawn. Sri Ramakrishna was awake and meditating on the Divine Mother. On account of his illness, the devotees were deprived of his sweet chanting of the Mother's name. Sri Ramakrishna was seated on the small couch. He asked him, "Well, why have I this illness?" M. People will not have the courage to approach you unless you resemble them in all respects. But they are amazed to find that in spite of such illness, you do not know anything but God. Master smiling. Balaram also said, if even you can be ill, then why should we wonder about our illness? Lakshmana was amazed to see that Rama could not lift his bow on account of his grief for Sita. Even Brahman weeps, entangled in the snare of the 5 elements. M. Jesus Christ too wept like an ordinary man at the suffering of his devotees. Master, how was that? M. There are 2 sisters, Mary and Martha. Lazarus was their brother. All 3 were devoted to Jesus. Lazarus died. Jesus was on his way to their house. One of the sisters, Mary, ran out to meet him. She fell at his feet and said, weeping, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus wept to see her cry. Then Jesus went to the tomb of Lazarus and called him by name. Immediately Lazarus came back to life and walked out of the tomb. Master, but I could not do those things. M. That is because you don't want to. There are miracles. Therefore you are not interested in them. These things draw people's attention to their bodies. Then they do not think of genuine devotion. That is why you don't perform miracles. But there are many similarities between you and Jesus Christ. Master, smiling, what else? M. You don't ask your devotees to fast or practice other austerities. You don't prescribe hard and fast rules about food. Christ's disciples did not observe the Sabbath, so the Pharisees took them to task. Thereupon Jesus said, they have done well to eat as long as they are with the bridegroom. They must make merry. Master, what does that mean? M said, Christ meant that as long as the disciples live with the incarnation of God, they should only make merry. Why should they be sorrowful? But when he returns to his own abode in heaven, then will come the days of their sorrow and suffering. Master, smiling, do you find anything else in me that is similar to Christ? M said, yes, sir. You say, the youngsters are not yet touched by lust and gold. They will be able to assimilate instructions. It is like keeping milk in a new pot. The milk may turn sour if it is kept in a pot in which curd has been made. Christ also spoke like that. What did he say, M? Master. M replies, if new wine is kept in an old bottle, the bottle may crack. If an old cloth is patched with new cloth, the old cloth tears away. Further, you tell us that you and the mother are one. Likewise, Christ said, I and my Father are one. So we find that there is beautiful place we are coming to discuss. Sri Ramakrishna is giving the idea that my aim is giving this idea when Sri Ramakrishna having this sore throat and his cancer pain is getting aggravated. So, because of his illness, he could not chant the name of the Lord loudly. So it was in the dawn, Sri Ramakrishna was awake, and even he cannot speak, but he was meditating on the Divine Mother. So that was the life. Spiritual life is, everyone should understand that. Spiritual life is thinking of God, living in God, praying to God, and to be saturated in God. Now we find that Ramakrishna, then after some time, seated on this small couch, and he's asking like a child, why this sore throat here? No, why it is happening? Then M said, the people have not the courage to approach you unless you resemble them like on all respect. That means when God comes down, he behaves like an ordinary person, so that we can approach him. He is like us, but he is not exactly, but we can approach him and get freedom from other entanglements. So people will not have the courage to approach you unless you resemble them in respect. But they are amazed to find that in spite of such illness, you don't know anything but God. So your conception is that you are like them, like ordinary person. But you do not know anything but God. So that is the speciality. We know everything but God. No? How many things we know? We know art, literature, science, politics, this, that, world, whatever is happening in the world, but not God. But it is the speciality is that he only knows God and does not understand anything. So that is the, though he looks like human, avatar, the incarnation, to understand the importance of avatar. Avatar comes down to our level. The Lord of the Lord, which is crowning, which is glory, which is majesty. He is in the high heaven. Oh my God, we cannot approach that. That's why he comes down to us to share our suffering and lead us to the path of perfection. So Master is finding that's what you say is correct, because Balaram, another devotee, also said, what he said, if even you can be ill, then why should we wonder about our illness? It's natural. If we do so many good, bad things, naturally we should suffer for good thing good, bad thing bad. But you are the Lord Himself. You have no other identity, but you are God yourself. You have taken a human form only for the good of others. So if you suffer, a pure soul who has no, Christ suffered. Why he suffered? He suffered for the sin of others. That is the concept. Taking the sin of others. So it is you are suffering. That if you, God, can suffer, what about us? We should suffer more. So we get courage to face the challenges of life. If one really understands that God has incarnated in the form of Rama, Krishna, Christ, Buddha, Rama, Krishna, Chaitanya, then, and when they suffer, being so pure and so spiritual, and or the God incarnated, means the Satchidananda condensed. Brahman, condensed Brahman is avatar. So if they, taking a body, can have to suffer like this, we are ordinary people, we must have our karma, so we should have to suffer. So one can manage to see and learn from your life. And he gives the example, even the Lakshmana was amazed to see that Rama was so grief-stricken that when Sita was abducted, he could not raise his bow and arrow. When psychologically we get depressed, everyone happens, no? When you get mentally depressed, you lose all your power. You cannot do anything. As if I am worthless, helpless. So if Rama, the Lord of the universe, and who is parallel to Rama's prowess and strength and what you call all this monarch and this ability to destroy the Rakshasas and all these enemies, he could not raise his Gandhi, that means his bow and arrow, when Mother Sita was abducted, because he was grief-stricken. Why he was grief-stricken? Then what is the speciality? Yes, they behave like us. When someone of our friends leave us, die, someone is in suffering, we get down, depressed. So that depressed condition is but natural. So he is also saying, he has no connection that way, but he also behaves like us. That is the major thing to understand. God, when he comes down, he behaves like us, so that we, in our life struggle and turmoil, we can face those challenges with boldness. If God has done for this, if Rama has done this, if Krishna has suffered like that, if Ramakrishna has suffered such things, so everyone will have to suffer, so long in the body. You have little fun, little joy, little suffering. No one is absolutely in suffering, no one is absolutely in joy. It's a mixture of those things, because of the karma which brings us. And what is the karma of the avatar? He has no karma, but that karma of our own, he looks at our suffering and he takes them in him. And therefore that karma goes, and that goes to the body. So this body suffer. Your account was zero or minus balance, no? Credit card. If someone gives some money, donates, no? Your account goes high and this account gets low. So that's why it is, because it is a physical level, it is in the physical level. So physical thing comes this way, physical thing goes the other way. That's why the suffering, they absorb our suffering, they take away our suffering. And,
Is this the reason why many enlightened suffer from illnesses in their last life?
yeah, normally we are talking of avatars as special class. Even enlightened people have their karma. They suffer, we studied yesterday. It is because of the prarabdha, means the impetus of the past lives. Some trajectory was going on. That person is being enlightened in the middle, but the trajectory was still continuing. So in that way he suffers or gets anything good or bad comes. But they are not connected with that. They don't feel that suffering because they have the wisdom has come. But avatars are born with that. They have no need for anything. Out of compassion, he accepts the suffering. Buddha is a state, bodhisattva. After attaining that, he said, I come again and again and again. Buddha was born 500 times. Jataka stories are there. So every time we find that he is coming down and taking away some suffering of others, trying to help others, trying to help others. Our motivation to enjoy ourselves, and their motivation is to help others to take out of their suffering. So that's why difference is there with the enlightened Jivan Muktas and Avataro. Always it is very difficult to understand. We equate any Jivan Mukta. Oh, he is like Rama, he is like Krishna. It is not so. Avatars are avatars. They come after 500 years or long after a gap. They are not born day and every day. How do you know it is a avatar? Their glory spreads and expands as time goes on. And even the Jivan Muktas, their glory remains when they are alive or within limited circle. After hundreds of years, that reduces to some few people of their group. But the incarnation, how do you understand he is an incarnation? As the day goes, his name and glory moves into the whole world. Say Buddha. Who does not know Buddha? Buddha died 2,500 years ago. So people should have forgotten. Who you remember? A great saint in a particular area 2,500 years before. You go to that village or you go to that space. In India you can go. And local people will talk about, oh, here is a saint. Saint was born like that. He was like, But that impact is localized. But Avatar's impact is globalized. And as day passes, it does not reduce, it increases. Rama, Krishna, the whole of India is vibrant with Rama, with Krishna, even outside also. So how their glory is expressed? That's the God himself has incarnated. That's why their power is extraordinary power. And that is for the good of humanity. Even Rama, people see the vision of Rama. Even Krishna, so many devotees see Krishna even, no? It is not a story anymore, what they live in the subtle body for the good of others. Jesus too wept, and he is saying that the mother Rama wept for mother Sita and was very much entangled in the snare of 5 elements, as it were. Then M, he has read thoroughly the Bible, so thoroughly, everywhere he is master in that. And he says that Jesus too wept. When? Like an ordinary man. Why? For his own suffering? No. At the suffering of his devotees. And they give their illustration, Mary, Martha and Lazarus. They are the brothers and sisters, no? 2 sisters and 1 brother. And Lazarus passed away. And then when Christ, Mary and Martha, Lazarus was their brother. All 3 were devoted to Christ, Jesus. Then Lazarus died, and Jesus was on his way to their house to see how it's going on. And when then Mary, she ran towards Christ and cried and fell at his feet of Christ and said, "O Lord, had you been here, my brother would not have died." He's totally in grief. And what happened? Out of compassion, then Christ went to the tomb and showed his miracle. Lazarus, come out. And Lazarus comes out of the tomb. So this is the power of God. Why he did? He cried, he felt the suffering of the devotees who are devoted. Mary, Martha, they are all devoted. So to redeem their suffering, to take away their suffering, he did all this. And then Master said, "But I cannot do those things." Ramakrishna actually did miracles many places, but not consciously, unconsciously. And he said, "I never do that. Normally he does not do this." He said that once, if I do that, then Dakshineshwar would be a hospital center. Hospital center means all will come with their physical ailment, my headache, my heart problem, my kidney problem, this problem. So cure, cure, cure. A miracle, God's power is infinite. What are those curing this disease or that disease? It's nothing. Who is controlling the whole galaxies and stars and galaxies? For him to cure little disease of someone is any problem. But Ramakrishna did not do that. That's why he said, he's talking to him, "But I cannot do these things." The name says, that is because you don't want to. If you wish, you can do it. Take away. He took away the sin of Girish. No? He took away the sin of so many people. Even there is a story, I forgot that story. Someone was suffering or something and he tried to touch him. Instantly the man got cured. But he felt a scorpion biting in his hand and he cried out with excruciating pain and prayed like a child, "Oh mother, I won't do things like that." So, two miracles are there. One normal miracle is that someone is sick, he becomes cured. Someone is blind, he gets the eyesight. No? These are called the miracle in which we understand. But Ramakrishna also has a great miracle. He changes an ordinary person into a spiritual giant by a mere touch, by a mere look. So this is also a miracle. Not only doing some cure in the physical body is miracle, but this is called the Sattvika miracle. And that's in every age there is a necessity. God himself, Christ is no other than Ramakrishna. Because God comes in the form of Christ. God comes in the form of Ramakrishna. So it is the same power. But that time it was necessary. Because when Christ was moving around, the people who are in that cultural background, what is their wisdom, knowledge, they will be feeling the God's love. Oh, this person, by God's grace, by touch of Christ, he has been blind and he got the eyesight. The thousands of people hearing that story, they will fall in love with God. That is the purpose of this miracle, not for his money-making business. If anyone so many gurus, so many spiritual people, they gain some power. And what they do? Immediately there is a group, fan group, and then will come Rolls Royce, and then will come people, many, money, wealth, women, and all these things will gather around, no? And that becomes the cause of fall. That person has power, but he is exhausted in this way. Name comes, fame comes, power comes, position comes. But Christ was not proud. He was doing all these things not for any material gain, out of sheer love for the suffering devotees. No? So this is the God's act of miracle. It is out of compassion and out of just sheer love for humanity. But this Sattvika manifestation also in Ramakrishna's time, that being in present there, touching someone, their spiritual consciousness is awakened. So that is a greater power, greater manifestation. It is all power. This miracle is a power, no? Miracle power. You cannot do that, I cannot do that. But there are people who can. They have gathered that power and they can exercise that power, and out of that they can get to show something miracle happening. I knew one gentleman, he used to live near Belur Math, and they started certain temple of Mother's temple. And he anyhow got some spiritual awakening or something like that. He will be at Saturday in a particular time after performing the puja, worship, he will be intoxicated as it were, or inebriated. So he will be his head will be knocking the ground and straight, knocking the ground and straight. He will do like that, and people come from different areas. He will call their name. He does not know who has come. He does not open the eyes. Nobody has written to him that I am coming, I am doing. So, a sound is okay. Okay. Tumra naktake bar kore rakhle tale, what is the use of using the mask? If the nose is out, then what is the use of mask? Put the nose up. Press it, then it will. And if your eyeglass, take out the eyeglass, then it does not get hazy. Okay, so what I was telling? Oh, he was showing that type of head down and up, head down and up, and he didn't see who is in the. So many people have come with their offering of flowers and this and that. He didn't look. He will say, such and such person, coming from such and such area. Okay, this is your problem. Not looking at that, nothing doing, and he will give, okay, you take this flower and put it on the head of the patient, and this. Bas. And they took away, and by that way they get cured. So it is Shakti. And all miraculous power is also Shakti. But this way, and there's a huge gathering. Belur Math would not have so many people that time, but that adjacent area, that yogi or that gentleman, he's a householder. So other weekday, he's a normal person, but on Saturday when he does that puja and things, he gains that energy or power, and he does that for anyone coming, and naturally people get benefit. But that brought money also. The temple was built, and his name become more predominant. Christ also did. But Christ, this is also, any miracle is done, it brings the faith in the ordinary people, those who have no faith. I went to all the doctors, everyone failed, but this person, which is miraculous power, that means God's power is there. So they gain more faith in God. So Christ doing is that there is no exchange. Don't want anything but sheer love. And Ramakrishna also, the highest gift is freedom from bondage, spiritual awakening. That Ramakrishna could give. Because in material gift, whatever you get, suppose you get money, you get wealth, you get cure from one disease, but another disease will come after 10 years and the body will go. But Ramakrishna is giving the eternal food, such touch which will awaken the inner consciousness of God. On that January 1, 1886, Ramakrishna touched many people, no? And one of them was that he saw consciousness everywhere, overwhelmed with that, by one touch. And after 3 days, that Vaikuntha Sannal was the name of the gentleman. Then he came back and told Ramakrishna, please take back, I cannot handle this. Day and night, totally intoxicated in God consciousness. That needs preparation. You need to do so much meditation and practice so that your mind is ready, becomes ready to have that type of experience day and night. Our brain cannot take that. So anyhow, my point is that, but he can give it by touch. Of course, he said, after this touch, what has happened, he may not, when Ramakrishna took away, took away that, but he said, I never forget God for any moment of time. It is like an undercurrent. And the thought of God was continuously in my life. That means he has changed his whole internal life and made it spiritual. So this is the miracle.
I used to always say like that, not to disturb anybody's idea or bhav.
That because
Now, if anyone has that bhav to believe him with the miraculous power, why didn't he entertain that?
no, he didn't entertain because it will not do ultimate good. He has come here, God realization here, in this incarnation. Oh, we are not to be born again and again. What is that? Do it now. So his intention was to hit directly, now and here. Call upon God, God is kind. If you move one step, He will come 10 steps.
But that is not the bhav of that person. The bhav of that person is to get something miraculous.
There, in the world, there are so many places to go, they can get it. He need not have to do all this. In this incarnation, he has got tyago. Ramakrishna said tyago, renunciation, and in God intoxication. These are the speciality of, no? In every incarnation God comes, but this incarnation emphasis on this side. And that is the need of this age, for that reason. And miracle can cure momentary thing. He thought, what is the use of giving something which is momentary? He can cure and give that cure, it will be momentary. He will suffer from some other problem. Rather, if you remove the ignorance of that person, then you are removing his whole life's problem. No? Life in ignorance, we suffer. If the ignorance is pulled out, that is his contribution or gift.
What did he mean when he said, I've given you all my treasure to Vivekananda, I'm now a fakir?
Yeah, that is another thing, because he, when you are connected with the infinite source of Satchidananda, you become inexhaustible. But in this body, what Ramakrishna did, all this sadhana, all these infinite experiences, so he's so much ingrained. So he's always in that, saturated in that love. And it is a result of the spiritual practice. So, because it is Shakti earned by meditation, that Vivekananda will have to use that Shakti for giving it to the world. That's why the energy what was there, he transferred to him. And does not mean that he is a beggar, though he is a beggar. Beggar in the sense Suppose you do learn your wisdom. If there is some trickery that you can transfer my brain to your brain, Einstein's brain can be transferred to someone, if there is some mechanism, then that means it is transferring the wisdom. So it is like that. Wisdom, that is transferred to him. And realization, Vivekananda also, he has given the Brahmajnana, and he is a Brahmajnani par excellence. So in that Brahmajnana level, they are all one. Manifestation level, Ramakrishna is an avatar. That power of Ramakrishna has been given to the power to act. That's why Ramakrishna said, you will do much good to the world by this power. So that is the energy. Suppose you do meditation, no. It is what is the difference between one person and the other. One person is meditating, but another person gets steeped into meditation and get the joy. His whole inner personality is thrilled with joy, no? So that joy can be transferred.
But you will lose it.
You are not losing, you are connected with Brahman. But it is the energy which you gain through your karma of sadhana, that energy is given to Vivekananda so that he can do that to the world, exhaust that. But their inner knowledge is always there. I am that. There.
Picturing away the power so soon when we touch Vedanta Maharaj?
That was in the beginning period. That's why he's saying that without getting collected much, you start spending. Collect more. Collect million. Then you give some money out of this. You are only having $5,000 and you are making a charity to. So better you earn more. That's why he's saying. That's why spiritual practice is very, very emphasized in our tradition. Who can do greater work? There are so many sadhus, no? We have put in 1,500 sadhus now. Who are doing the best work? Those who are highly spiritual. Physically they may not do work, but they are the people who are doing real work, no? Transforming the mind of the people, and their prayer will be so powerful, active. So this is exhausting. What they earn, they are exhausting. So that was the story of the Lazarus, and he came out of the life. And Ramakrishna said, I can't do those things. He said that because you don't want. These are miracles, therefore you are not interested in them. Because it is a temporary impact. Suppose even a dead person, you, by your spiritual power, you make him alive, no? How long? How many years you will live? Another 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? Will not die? He will die. So even life is given back, though it is a miracle, but there is greater miracle that you are not to be born again by attaining the wisdom, by knowing that I am Atman, I am the self. No? When you know that, then you need not have to come back again. So that is also miracle, but people don't talk that as miracle, but they talk about this type of thing, impossible thing, when medical doctors fail, and some get something, this is miracle we call. These things draw people's attention, these miracles, aim says. And to their bodies, to longevity of the body, disease-free body. But spirituality is forget the body. Two things are, even in devotional path. You love God, means you forget your body. You think of God so much that you don't think of yourself at all, your existence. So forgetfulness of the body is called spirituality. And miracle brings the consciousness in the body only. That's why they do not think of genuine devotion. They think that God we pray to get something. Give and take principle. That is why you don't perform miracle But there are many similarities between you and Jesus Christ. So that's why it is like a child. Ramakrishna knows everything, but he has become like a child, asking him to explain what is going on in him. And also other stories. What is the other stories? M says, you don't ask your devotees to fast or practice austerities much. Huh? There are some story in the Ramakrishna's life that on the Shivaratri, the night of the Shiva, some of the ladies came and they are fasting. So when they came to Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna said, oh, have you eaten something? Well, no, today is Shivaratri. Then Ramakrishna said, I cannot see the suffering of mothers. So you eat something and then do Shiva Puja. So it is like concession, no? No one will say like that. Out of infinite mercy, he is talking that even that fast rules about food is not important. Christ's disciple did not observe the Sabbath because there is a departure from the Jewish tradition. So the Pharisees took them to task because you are breaking the rules, Jewish rules, that Sabbath is you have to stop everything, but you are eating. So you are breaking the normal rules. Thereupon Jesus said, what he said? They have done well to eat. As long as they are with the bridegroom, they must make merry. It is a beautiful word. When you keep God in your heart, what it matters, you eat or don't eat. Actually, upavas also, the Sanskrit word, fasting, has meaning. Upo means coming close, vasa, stay. Upavas is, we have taken it very simply. In all religion talks about fasting. But Sanskrit word is fasting is equal to upavasa. Upavasa means not fasting, physical fasting, but you feel in that fasting time, not of the body, not of eating, not of cooking, not going to shopping, only that's the purpose of the Sabbath. Don't do anything, but people do. What to do? I don't eat. I am following the Sabbath rules. But are you thinking of God? Are you living in close proximity with God? Upo and samipyo, very close. Vasa means stay. Are you staying very close vicinity with God and His presence? That's why he said, why you do fast? I am the incarnation here. My presence, you are here. What else you need? That is the understanding. You don't understand that you are so close to the divine. And you are thinking fasting of the body, torturing the body is your spirituality. So, fasting may be good, but main purpose of fasting is to live with God. But most of the people fast and don't think of God much and say,
if you want your duty that day, then how can you keep on sitting with God?
what is duty? Then why are you doing upavasa? Eat. Who has asked you to do upavasa? No, if you have to do your duty and work, so eat and work. You are not coming in close touch with God and you are telling, I am doing fasting. It is your pride. 40 days of fasting. What they do? In the morning, before sunrise, they are waiting. When the sun is rising, you have to finish all food. Eat. And belly full. And now the day starts. And the sun set. When the sun is setting, wait for that moment. And as soon as sunset, eat. Whole night, eat. And where is God? I said, that is the point. We miss the ground. And if you are in contact with God, you will be cheerful. Why you will have to fast? Don't feast also. You should not be you should not have gluttony to feed your tongue and your belly day and night. And that's why Gita says, middle path. Take the middle path. Don't eat too much, don't fast too much. Whatever, live in a normal life. Have a healthy body and think of God. What is better? Healthy body, thinking of God, or making a show, I am spiritual, I am fasting. People will know, beating of the drum. Today, I don't eat. I'm fasting. But are you thinking of God? So this is the problem that Christ pointed out. Why you will fast when I am with you? I am the Lord of the world, I am sitting with you. In my presence, feel that I am in contact, in the personal presence, in the vicinity of the divine. So, what an opportunity. Enjoy that presence. No? You going to Ramakrishna, holy somebody went to Jairambati, no? Him and others, no? And there, so who I do not know. And so one is meditating. Then Ma called that him. What are you doing? Ma, I was meditating. Why will you meditate? You come here, eat, sleep, and go and sing and dance. Because you are in the mother of the universe. She didn't say so much, but you are in presence of the mother of the universe, whose grace people are praying, oh mother, give your vision, give your darshan, I want to see you in my life. She is sitting over there. She is making bread for you. She is giving some curry, preparing some curry. She is going to bring some vegetables from the next village. And you are meditating. That is the same thing Latu Maharaj, Ramakrishna said. Latu was meditating on the bank of the Ganga in Dakshineshwar. And Ramakrishna was coming from the Panchavati. And then he said, Latu, Leto, what are you doing? You are meditating. Are you meditating upon whom? Whom you are meditating upon, she is not getting any help to make a rolling chapatis, to roll any help. Go, that is the point. When you get a holy person, don't avoid that. And don't forget to take advantage of that. And you do meditate. What will you meditate? End of meditation, the purpose of meditation, to see God, to see the Divine Mother, who will untie your knots. And she is like an ordinary lady trying to feed you with chapatis and other things, and you are doing meditation. There is another story. The story is that one boy wanted to be a monk or brahmachari. So he came to a guru and said that, please, I want to be spiritual, so please tell me what am I to do? Well, if you are a student, then you will have to work hard. Get up in the early morning, before sunrise. Not to sleep at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Not so easy-going spiritual life. Get up in the morning, meditate then. After finishing meditation, go to the jungle, bring firewood, carry on your head, bring it. That's the fuel. Then you have to make a dough of making chapatis or anything, because Guru and other brothers will eat. Or fruits are there, you have to cut the fruits, etc. So, and then serve everyone, feed everyone. And one after another, this is to be done. Then you have to study the scripture with the Guru. Then you will have to again understand this, debate with your friend. And whole day, there is no gap. Do this, do that, do that. Then he was tired. He said, Sir, this is the student to do. What is the duty of a guru, teacher? A guru will sit. You prepare the meal, he will eat. He will give some blessings and advice. So the boy said, Sir, please do one thing. Make me guru first. It is too much to be a disciple. So, point is that it is spiritual practice is necessary to build up the muscle. So, when God is not there, you don't get any holy man, you try your own, create your own atmosphere. It is a harder thing. We in our life we have seen when a good Swami and a spiritual Swami, we lived with him. He was with us, talking, working, maybe not always spiritual talk. But you felt an atmosphere, your mind is lifted, no? Then we used to think, oh my God, our days, many of the hours of our day goes for associating with the Swami. We could have meditated that time. But there is another weakness. I love to hear, I love to be in his presence, so I run. So our other brahmacharis also used to feel like that. Then we thought that and by chance it happens that the Swami was to go to some other center. Now everyone thought, this is my opportunity, I will do meditate and I will be very happy. And then they started. And when we started meditation, we are sitting for meditation, but nothing happening. And where is the joy? Joy of meditation. It is a struggle. After half an hour, you come out exhausted. But when you are with the Swami, even he is doing something ordinary, your mind was cheerful. So that's why it's called holy company. And when you are in the holy company, you don't need any sadhana, much. If you do, you will feel much more. But if not, you can experience that joy or some uplifted mood. But if you should be ready for that, your mind is not ready, how will you understand?
But isn't it true that if you are close to your object of desire, you feel joy anyway?
Yeah, but that is the no object of desire is not here. Yes.
Because if I am seeking the company of that Swami or that holy person, and I get that one, then automatically I am happy.
No, it may be one day happy, 2 days happy, then third day it will not be happy. It's a monotony will come for worldly. When you bring any worldliness, it has its defect. Its monotony will come, frustration will come. Third day will look upon him as ordinary man like me. If you are not ready, even with a high spiritual personality, you will think, because they behave like us and very humble. Good people will be very humble. And then they don't show their, that's Rajas people say, I am this, and those who are really genuine spiritual, they will not do. So you will ultimately be a critic of that holy man. He does that, he looks like that, he walks like that, he dies. That I will go away. So that's why it is not so. It is spiritual person, and the student should be also ready to understand that spirituality. You want to get admitted into PhD course, you should have some basic qualities. Anyone cannot go, okay, I will be a student of this course, no? That's the point. Spirituality is such thing. Most of the places, it becomes actually not good for that person to be in close proximity with a holy man unless he is prepared. One story is there, and there is one brahmachari, he joined long back, I am talking about now 50, 60 years now, 6 decades before. So that time he joined and he got the opportunity to be the attendant of our president, great president, Swami Mahendranath. So Mahendranath Swami, and they are strict, rigid people. Outwardly there is no show of their spirituality. And he is exacting. Who wants exacting? You all people want that, I will do my way. No, you have to learn how to do what, and then when you are mature, then you will be freedom. So he used to, every time to correct him, this is not the way you have to do this way, it is not the way. We put the asana one way. There's no, this is to be done this way. You put the glass of water here this way, it is to be done that way. You take the pen this way, you have to replace it this way. You have to get the glass this way, eyeglass this way. And so he became a critic. And became such a critic, he started criticizing the president. And when that was known to our General Secretary and others that time, they said, "You dare criticize our president, who is the spiritual head of and such a towering spirituality?" So he said, "Oh, but he is angry. He is spiritual, you say? What spiritual? He gets angry, he gets mad. If I don't do this way, he gets mad. What type of spirituality?" So you think that is the way you are attending to a living spiritual personality? So he was taken out from that job, and is because of his own other faults he left the order. So question is that not that being in close proximity of a holy person, you can understand him. No? Christ was misunderstood by whom? The people. Those who lived close by, no? Ramakrishna was criticized by whom? All the priests of Dakshineshwar. Who make the Ramakrishna's life hell? Those who live very close to Ramakrishna. However, of course, Vivekananda was also lived with Ramakrishna. Brahmananda also lived with Ramakrishna. No? But the other priests, they created most troublesome thing for Ramakrishna. So, being in close proximity does not give any guarantee. But you are fortunate that their presence will change the personality internally. Anyhow, so let us end here almost. Is there any question?
Yes.
So let me finish here. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. What is it? You have any question? Get ready. What is the question is, what is the difference between japa and meditation? Japa is what? The holy mantra Guru gives us, you repeat it. Say Hare Krishna mantra is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, once, no? Again you see, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, 2. That is called the japa. And japa and meditation is focusing the entire mind in the form of your chosen ideal, or that truth which is beyond name and form. Your concentration, focusing the entire mind, that is called meditation. Toilo dharavat, it is the mind goes into one object without any break. First second, it is in God. Second, it is in God. Third is God. Fourth is God. Fifth is God. If it goes like that, then it's called meditation. But we all say, I meditated. In evening time, I meditated. I meditated 1 hour. That's what you meditated. Where was your mind? If by chance 1 second the mind comes for in that holy image of your Ishta Devata, Rama Krishna, second moment it went to New York, third moment to Boston, fourth moment to France, next to Germany. And I think I am meditating. That is not meditation. Meditation is niravacchinna toilo dharavat. It will be like a drop, you pour oil from one can to the other. You see, as if it is flow, a thick, no gap in between drops. That means mind should be constantly engaged in the thought of the divine of the thought. No other thought in between enters there. That's why we do meditation. One day you have a meditation, that day you think that I have reached samadhi, as it were. Because we do not know what is called meditation. So what we do, we struggle. We struggle with mind, and mind is our boss. I sit, good big guy, to meditate, but I am a slave of my mind. We do not know even, mind has taken me all by that time somewhere else. You are talking to your friend by that time in the meditation. Does it happen? Are you not talking to your friend sometime? Or resolving some problem? Or fighting with some argument? So this is the way is our meditation. That's why Patanjali says it is not meditation. You have to do pratyahara. Then you have to do dharana. Then you have a dhyanam. And you are perfected in dhyanam, that leads to samadhi. So pratyahara means, first what we do every day, nothing but trying to pull the mind back to our focus of concentration. What Guru teaches us, to bring the mind, pull. Again it runs away. Hey, mind, come. Why are you there? Come back. And by that time it follows, by that time he runs away. That is the play of our meditation every day. But when we do the japa, then what happens? It helps us to concentrate. Because if you say Rama, the Rama's divine form will be reflected in your heart. So you do the japa, it helps in bringing the awareness of the mind, and then mind can get set there. But again and again, again and again. So that's why the Ishta mantra, the Guru gave the mantra. That mantra is to be repeated, that is called Japa. And at the same time, what is the meaning of this Japa? This God. And Guru has given, who is your Ishta Devata God. You focus there in his personal form or the impersonal form, whatever. Probably Gurus give us ideas like that. You repeat the mantra and focus it. So it should go simultaneously. Tat japa, tad artha bhavanam. Patanjali says, you have to tat japa, you do the japa. Repetition of the holy name, what Guru has given you, tat japa. And tad artha bhavanam. You try to think of its meaning also. What that mantra means. Mantra means God, nothing else. What the mantra means? People say, what is the mantra mean? Mantra means God, that's all. You think of God, and that will mananath, by constant repetition, trayate. It redeems you. It frees you from all bondage. Trayate. Mananath trayate iti mantra. By repeated mental observation or mental practice, repeating again and again and again, then it is, mind gets settled. So that is called the mantra. And that mantra is to be practiced again and again, so that it helps us in meditation. But when you are in deep meditation, probably your mantra will stop. Because the purpose of this mantra is to inspire us to think of God, who is my ideal, chosen ideal. And when one gets so much absorbed in repeating the mantra and synchronizing with the form of the divine form, and it is synchronized at one point, then your mantra will stop, but your arthamatra nirbhasha, that's only the meaning of the mantra will remain, and you will get absorbed into that. That's the dhyana state. So dhyana and japa are the two aspects of spiritual practice. One is the name of the holy man, holy name of God, Guru gives us. And second is the object of our focus. And that focus should be uninterrupted focus, not disturbed by any worldly thought or any other thought. So when you are succeeded, then you are succeeding to holding the mind, Holding the mind for longer time, then it's called dhyana, and holding dhyana for a longer time, you get samadhi. So this.
Sarvadevananda Swami defined Japa and meditation in that way. Japa is the one
Mm.
when you are talking to God, and meditation is the one when God is talking to you.
Well, good idea. That means you are not anymore chattering. Your chattering is stopped. The internal joy is coming out from within. So, huh?
But can a householder accumulate Shakti if he doesn't practice brahmacharya? He must practice brahmacharya.
Not that brahmacharya for a householder is little different definition. But monastic definition, of course, ultimately it leads to the same conclusion. Absolute chastity gives you this spiritual power, more, greater power. But for the householder life, you have your social duty, responsibility for your wife, for every married. So to respectful love and relationship is there, and to gradually go through the experience and go above. Main purpose is to go above. So, yes, they can do. Many people, in India we see many people in their mature days, they become so pure. They are married, they have their children, they have passed through those stages. But they are deeply devotional, and all this experience has given them the idea, it is useless to spoil my energy this way. I will have to devote it for my higher goal to achieve, no? And it gives such a turn in their life, spontaneously. It is like gliding. It happened that they are wonderful. See, Ramakrishna's mother, Holy Mother's mother, father, such pious people. They live in the world, they have their children, so-called. But it is a different type. That experience leads them to the God. And make them more, and they automatically become celibate. When your mind goes to God, you are celibate, finish. Actually, brahmacharya means what? Celibacy means in real term, brahmani acharati iti brahmacharya. In Brahman, when you are dwelling in the consciousness of Brahman idea, that is your brahmacharya, meaning your mind is so high, wow, it will come to the lowest chakra. When you are thinking, I am infinite, I am birthless, deathless, absolute, that thought is so high, mind is so lifted, it cannot come down to that level. That's why automatic brahmacharya. For household people, automatic brahmacharya happens.
But any kind of sexual activity brings the mind down.
Of course that will do that. That's that, but it is not that everyone is fit for every life. So that is a process of reaching their goal. Suppose I have never tasted ice cream and you say, don't take ice cream, it will create your cholesterol. Okay, cholesterol, but I didn't know what you are talking about. Let me have some ice cream. So like that. But those who have that type of spirit, they have passed through that experience. So, but anyhow, the truth of the matter is that God realization is for the pure life. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Christ said, clear, pure in heart. So pure in heart, how will we be pure? Think of God. In household life, they don't think of other things. They think, oh, I am a Lord's child, and pray to Him. Any failure comes, oh Lord, I do not know, please help me, please hold me. No. So that is a genuine path. And that's why Indian spiritual tradition gives the 4 stages of life. 2 ways are there. Brahmacharya to sannyas, monk's life, after celibate life, student life. Some go straight to the monastic life. No. That's like Ramakrishna order sadhus or many wandering swamis. After finishing the school or college or the studies, they just get out. But there are some people who go to the next stage, garhastha, get married, have life, and feel the suffering and joy and pleasure and pain and experience. Then Vanaprastha, after you have experienced this, don't get involved into the world many more, less now. Get yourself little detached, little away from the humdrum of life. Na? And that is the Vanaprastha, in a forest life, forest dwelling. And last, when you come, you have so much experience, I have seen in one lifetime what worldly life can give, what your spiritual life can give, because you are practicing simultaneously your japa, meditation, etc. So a stage comes, then you say, I renounce. Total celibacy, total. But these are, maybe they have done something in their past life, so they, from the student life itself, they go for absolutely thinking of God. Okay. There is hope for everyone. And it does not mean that you become a monk, means you are a great soul. Purity of the heart is the most important. Rather, many people suffer being a monk, because if they are not fit for it. And many people being in the world may be highly spiritual. It is the mind. But ideally, there is no parallel to monastic life, because you are free from other entanglements. At least atmosphere is helping you. But whenever you want to be idealistic in household life, but your job situation, your friends' situation, your circle around you, all will make you bound to move in a different circle and pull you down all the time. And here also you can be pulled down, but there is an atmosphere. It is not expected. But Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Okay. So you have no question then. We have finished, of course.